Approval amendment of meeting agenda items.
Mr. Chair, the agenda is as presented.
I move that we approve the agenda for April 24th, 2018 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda items for April 24th, 2019 as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Approval of minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes for April 10th, 2019 as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes for April 10th, 2019 as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Correspondence.
Yes, Mr. Stratton has some correspondence to present on behalf of the National Geographic letter.
Oh, yeah. Is it in here? You caught me off guard on that one, sorry.
It is, but here you can just have this.
Here,
Got it.
right here.
I got it right here.
You got it?
Yep,
Yep.
okay.
So pretty excited for Miss Bauer. She shared this letter with me and I sent it to Mr. Cahill. Dear Administrator, I'm pleased to let you know that a teacher who passed along this letter has completed the National Geographic Educator Certification. The National Geographic Educator Certification is rooted in our learning framework, which is built around a set of attitudes, skills, and knowledge areas that embody the attributes of an explorer. National Geographic certified educators are committed to teaching their students about the world and how it works, empowering them to succeed and to make it a better place. There is a 3-step process involved in earning this certification, and it typically takes educators about 20 hours to complete. And I think the cool thing about it is Danae has surprised me with her ever-ending energy to take another class or to do another thing. She's not just done. I mean, she was talking to me the other day, well, I think I'm gonna take this and take it. I'm like, wait a minute, you're a mom, you're a teacher, and what, oh yeah, you have a business. And she doesn't teach to have that business. I think that's the cool thing about it, is she's always taking that next class. I asked her, what does this mean for her? And they send me cool stuff that I can use in the classroom. So I'm pretty excited what she's doing, representing Lakeview and mainly the field of education and being that lifelong learner.
That's great. Awesome. Is that being shared outside of this group or?
Yeah, it will be a part of the packet that goes to Michael. If you could present something on that, Michael, I'd appreciate
That'd be
that.
cool,
So
so we could
we
recognize.
can also probably run the website too. On the Facebook.
Any other correspondence?
Have none.
Public comment? 6, reports.
Mr. Stratton and Ms. Mize. And looks like we have an ASB member here this evening.
I'd like to have Ms. Lopez do our ASB report.
Alright.
Ready?
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, so my name is Elizabeth Lopez and I'm the ASB Vice President. And so the Student Council has been very busy with spring projects this past few weeks. The junior class officers have been busy working on prom. This year the officers chose the theme Under the Big Top. Other council members have been busy preparing an after prom activity. This is called Safe and Sober Prom Night Activity. The activity will be held at TJ's Family Fun Center directly after prom. Students will arrive at the facility no later than 9:30 p.m. to hand over car keys to chaperones and leave at 6 a.m. the following morning. There will be games, prizes, pizza, and bowling. Student Council's goals is to achieve a fun activity for the junior/senior classes and prevent driving under the influence, teenage drinking, and fatal tragedies. The senior class officers have also been busy doing preparations for the annual Senior Mothers Luncheon next week, May 1st, 2019. We expect to see our hard work pay off in the next few weeks. Elections to get next year's council are in progress, and we should have the new council set by mid-May. We continue to keep our bulletins updated with current information and new with fresh inspirations, as well as give out birthday grants and keep the front TV with pictures and announcements. This has been a very full year and we're not quite finished. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
If you have questions, I
dispense with questions. We'll move to principal's report.
Mrs. Warner couldn't be here this evening, so she's provided you with a written report. If you have any questions, I will try to field those if you do. And then Mr. Stratton, I'll just turn over to him to do Ellie just to do this.
And I'm ready for those. Sorry, I apologize about that one I missed. So, on the ASB report first, Mr. Rose is doing a softball game out there, and it's a good game too. High school track, we have 39 athletes out. Good numbers. We had a track meet on Monday that we rescheduled from the week prior to that on the rain out. It was cool to see some of our athletes go, but I think most importantly, he and I were talking about our coaches, Bobby and Chris, but we also have the volunteers of Rick Stupak, Danny Owens, and Caleb Howard. Middle school track has 18 athletes, and Miss Jamie Ludwig is coaching, and the high school coaches do a rotation to help her. So yesterday when I was watching, I saw Mr. Stupak and Danny working with the middle school kids also, so I think that was pretty cool for them to do that and help her out. Varsity baseball has 12 students. Pat Peterson, JV baseball 11, student athletes Mike Pearson, and then our volunteers, Brett Smith, Scott Graham, Bob Avery, and Steve Husson. So again, a bunch of dads out there sacrificing time and helping. So I think it's pretty awesome. Softball, there's 16 ladies playing. Sam Dane and Michelle Jacob, and then Darby Dick and Travis Delver. So we have a lot of those volunteer people too, helping our coaches. I remember from back in the day where I was just a 4 coaching staff, and I realized how to accept that, delegate, and work with volunteers. Man, it really helped, and got to appreciate those guys. So I appreciate those guys helping us out. District track meet is at Grant Pass, high school May 10th and 11th. Baseball right now is in the running for first place. They're tied with Hosanna, Lost River, and softball sitting in 4th place. Our equestrian team, there's 6 student athletes on our equestrian team. Their final event is May 10th, May 9th, 10th, and 11th. And I don't know about the 10th. I think it's May 9th, 10th, and 11th, but I'm pretty sure we only have athletes participating on the 9th and the 11th for their events. And our volunteer coaches there are Daniel and Carmen Tagg, and then Danielle Elder. So that's where we're at. Their culminating event, equestrian, also is the same time as our district culminating event. So we got some parents trying to scramble, and we have a couple of student athletes, and they have to make some choices. It's where it is.
Did you say golf?
Did not, and I have golf here.
Okay.
We talked about it too when I left. I'm gonna write it down.
There's a pile of them, right?
So Mr. Dunn, there is a pile.
I heard like 24.
I don't know if there's 24. I was gonna say the teens. And they're currently golfing over in Medford today, and a couple of kids had some good showings. And I'm not gonna say the student's name, but brag on Mr. Dunn and one of our students and the success he's made, because it's been a team effort for a long time, helping this student athlete out, and he's found his niche and doing great, and he was actually a high golfer today. And he's never golfed before. Never golfed.
Or low golf.
Low golfer. Yeah. Low golfer, never golfed before. So pretty excited about that.
Good. Great. Good news. A lot of kids out for sports.
Yes. And then high school, middle school, testing. My hat's off to Miss Tara Counts, because you really don't know that testing's going on. She does a great job. The teachers are willing to sacrifice. You don't hear much. They're just going, and she's working that testing in between all of our sports schedules, the rain outs, and the field trips. English language arts, I'm pretty sure if she's not done, there's only a few left. We started math this week, and I know that the 8th graders are doing their science test right now also. We're working on the schedule for next year. We actually started putting class schedules next to names today, and putting pieces together and looking at numbers and forecasting. Had a handful of positions to hire, and I want you to know that me and Mr. Rose went to 3 job fairs. I went to 2 and he went to 1. And even though it was fun to work with people, we both had 0 applicants come to our table that would fit our openings. So even though we went out and tried to get after it.
Where was this at again?
I went to Southern Oregon University's job fair, and then I went to the Ben Lapine job fair that they hosted, but most of Central Oregon was there. There was over 400 job seekers at that job fair. And it was tough, and I was sitting next to the Klamath County table, the Burns table, and you could just see people weren't coming to us. It was tough. And then Mr. Rose went to the Western Oregon job fair. We missed the Eastern Oregon job fair, but talking to Mr. Ogman, the Lost River principal, it was the same thing. A lot of elementary people, but no secondary people looking for jobs. So I don't know if there's a shortage in the ebb and flow of secondary. Secondary's not wanting to leave, but it's been difficult. That being said, we'll see where we go. I think, next year, I'll try to get back into the Eastern Oregon job fair rotation, because those are the type of people we may attract to our location. And then see, if we can budget for maybe a trip to the Spokane job fair. The state of Washington's in a budget cut because they raised their salaries so high that they can't now do their budget. So they're not hiring any new teachers, and then we're right there competitive with Idaho, so maybe go up there, because you gotta be competitive. It'd be ridiculous for me to go, say, to a Wyoming job fair, because we wouldn't be competitive. So we gotta go to those job fairs where we're competitive and try to get people. We had parent-teacher conferences last week, and we had a tremendous outpouring of parents. Crazy. Miss Emma, I didn't get numbers from her, but every year at the end of the last night, she puts them all in a box, and she goes, I've never been able to fit it in one box, the parents that didn't come. So for a springtime parent-teacher conference, our turnout was amazing. And we had a good social the last night with the teachers, so some good stuff. Any questions in the high school things?
Okay. Thank you. Special ed?
Alicia is. You're on.
So, our December 1 count of students was 95 students, and that's how we determine our special education ADM for the year. We have 106 total students in our district that are special ed. 5 were not in the December 1 count, they came afterwards, and 6 are students that are not our district students, so we don't claim them for that count. They come in from either, Adel Plush or the interstate agreement with MODOC. You guys, I think it was in the last board meeting that the Castros are leaving the middle school for special ed. So we have hired a great hire out of California. Joyce Vasquez has 19 years of experience in California as a resource teacher and as a special education coordinator. She was here for spring break. Their spring break was different than ours, and so Lane and I interviewed her and offered her that job that day. She's moving up here, buying a house with a family member that's lived here, a cousin, and is really excited about Lakeview. She likes to hike and kayak and fish, and this is a great community for her. She says she's, feels like she's sinking in quicksand down in California, and she's excited to come up here. So we're glad to get her on board. She'll start in the fall, in August. And then our Step Up program, Tanya continues to support the students with credit retrieval. She's working towards graduation. She's had a couple early graduates that'll come back and walk at graduation. And then we have hired Amy Albertson as our youth employment counselor. She started on April 8th. She's just jumped right in. She's getting ready for a summer crew. We've got applications out there, and we've met with Forest Service, and we need to meet with BLM, and then also we know that we received the OICC grant today. So that was just the last thing we received this afternoon that I don't think Mr. Kale even knows about, because I got it after he left. It came about 4:35, so we're excited about that.
How much is that grant?
It's $13,000. So, and then it's part of North Lake as well, so Amy and I are gonna drive up to North Lake and visit with the school up there and kind of try to get early applicants this year compared to last year. There were just some reasons why we started later, so.
And in addition to that, we're in agreement with the Forest Service for the next, what would be remaining of the next 4 years, $12,000 a year. That was your number, if I
Okay, thank you. So thank you.
Any other reports?
That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Full business?
We have none.
New business?
Yes, first one is me. I'd like to draw attention to what's in your packet, Resolution 13, Teacher Appreciation Week Resolution, May 6th through 10th. Coming up in a week or two, Teacher Appreciation Week. I can't say enough about the wonderful teachers we have in this district, the amount of dedication and timeless hours they put into serving the youth in all our schools, and my hat's off to them, my deep felt appreciation of them for the great job that they do. So, that being said, every year I get the opportunity to read the resolution to you, and so here we go. Teacher Appreciation Week, May 6th through 10th, 2019. Whereas teachers mold future citizens through guidance and education, and whereas teachers encounter students of widely differing backgrounds, and whereas our country's future depends upon providing quality education to all students, and whereas teachers spend countless hours preparing lessons, evaluating progress, counseling and coaching students, and performing community service, and whereas our community recognizes and supports its teachers in educating the children of this community, now, therefore, it be resolved that the Lake County School District 7 Board of Directors proclaims May 6th through 10th, 2019 to be Teacher Appreciation Week, and be it further resolved that the Lake County School District 7 Board of Directors strongly encourages all of our members of our community to join with it in personally expressing appreciation to our teachers for their dedication and devotion to their work. Adopted on this 24th day of April, 2019. Then you gotta have a motion to approve the resolution, and the deal is sealed. Thank you, teachers.
Do we have a motion?
Yep, I move to approve resolution number 13, Teacher Appreciation Week, May 6th through the 10th, 2019 as presented.
Second.
So we moved and seconded to approve resolution number 13, Teacher Appreciation Week, May 6th through the 10th, 2019, as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 8.2.
Okay, received a letter from, this is the first one is LOEA, which is the teachers union. They would like to open negotiations, both with language and salary and benefits. And you can probably see the letter that's attached in there. Henry Van has offered up a couple of dates that could potentially work. So two things, we need to establish a couple of board members for negotiations and then accept their letter of intent. So I'm accepting, and keep in mind the 2nd and the 14th are just kind of thrown out there as possibilities
2nd and the 14th.
of May,
Times?
3 to 4:30.
So Miss Price will be one.
I don't know what she's doing yet.
Wow! Really thrilled.
I'd be happy to do it again.
So are you really throwing Corey under the bus?
No,
So the 2nd would work for me, but the 14th won't. I'm sure I'll have to tell council.
And we've done that before. I think Dustin in the past has been with me like the last couple, 3 years, probably, at least. And so sometimes that has happened, Darwin. So if you're interested,
Yeah, you're good.
4.
Daryl Anderson.
I think
Oh,
so, and
yeah,
I did
that's
it a year
right.
with them, so
Maybe
we've all
that's
rotated in with Dustin.
Got a little more left to teach too.
Dustin. Okay, I'll remember all of this.
so we got Gustavson and Johnson.
That's
Does that work? Okay.
okay.
Do we have to have the dates in the motion?
It doesn't sound like it now. No, she's just possibly meeting these dates, so we just
We
kind
can
of
set the
need to.
date so months was after.
Yeah.
That's all right?
Yeah, just, Barry, just switch up your motion, how I have that worded. You can take the date part out.
Okay.
Yeah, just delete those 3 words, the negotiation dates. I move to approve the established board negotiation team for the blank, whatever, the dates will, and then delete dates there. Board negotiation team will include blank board member,
Yeah.
superintendent, business manager.
Okay, we got that?
Okay, I move to approve
The established,
and the established board negotiation team for 2019-20.
negotiations with LEOA.
Oh, negotiations with LOEA. The board negotiation team will be Dustin Gustavson and Darwin Johnson, superintendent and business manager.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to establish a board negotiation team for the 2019-20 negotiations with LOEA. The team will include Dustin Gustavson, board member, and Darwin Johnson, board member, superintendent, and business manager. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. 8.3.
Okay, same. This is the OSEA, which is our classified staff. They did not throw out any dates for possibilities, so that's wide open on this one. And I'm assuming that we would want the same negotiation team for this. Sure.
Okay.
Okay, and I just need a motion for accepting their intent.
I move to approve
I think it's
negotiations for wages and insurance for the upcoming 2019-20 school year with OSEA. The board negotiation team will include Dustin Gustavson, board member, Darwin Johnson, board member, superintendent, and business manager.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve negotiations for wages and insurance for the upcoming 2019-20 school year with OSEA. The board negotiation team will include Dustin Gustavson, board member, Darwin Johnson, board member, superintendent, business manager. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 8.4.
Mr. Stratton or Mr. Louie?
This was that one we were talking about earlier today in the work session. No, I would like to introduce Mr. Louis as he talks to you guys about our annual advanced math field trip.
Thank you Lynn, for that introduction. So, as usual, we have the annual trip that Noni established several years ago. And with the help of National Honor Society, we raise a lot of money with her memorial run that they do. And sometimes late May, early June this year will be in the graduation weekend. Because a lot of her family will be present for Grady's wedding and stuff, so they're having it that weekend. So I encourage all of you guys to join in if you wish to do so, because it raises money for the trip. So National Honor Society gave us $2,100 last year to put into the account. So that's where most of the funding will come for the trip. The trip is to go up to the Portland area. We make one stop in Corvallis with a gentleman named Sam Stern, who is doing research on the Collins McDonald and Daly Fund and the effects on the community. And he's been doing that for the last 3 years. So he has talked to our graduates that have received that fund all across the country. And so he talked to Noni one time at a conference, and has since then had us come visit Corvallis and Oregon State University. And we have met the geology department. We have met the president of the university some years. This year we'll be meeting with the dean of engineering and the dean of mathematics. So he will come and talk to our kids in kind of their own personal setting. And so that's been a lot of fun. They get to go up to the admin building and sit in the fancy conference rooms and all that. So then we'll be going up to Portland. We have an architecture firm up there that we visit with and stuff like that. They do a good 3D visual tour with the kids and go through their process with that stuff. We have financial advisors. We have a forensic accountant that does all the fraud stuff related to financial stuff for corporations that presents to us. I'm trying to remember. Oh, the meteorologist for the BLM and Forest Service was also on the agenda. And so we're going to meet with the weather service up there for the BLM and Forest Service. He does the fire prediction stuff for him. So he'll talk to the kids also there. So that's kind of our,
It's Name's John Saltenberger.
Yes, it is, John Saltenberger. And so, he's gonna talk to kids. A lot of these guys got hold of me before I could get hold of them. So it's kind of fun to know that they get hold of me and they're like, oh yeah, we're calling you. We want to know what dates you guys are coming. We enjoyed having the kids. So it's been really good to have that support and stuff from those same people each year and everything. So we've got a full booking. We leave at 5 a.m. on Thursday and we come back about 6 p.m., 7 p.m. or so on Saturday. So we have 3 places that we visit all day on Thursday and then another 4 or 5 on Friday that we'll be visiting. So it's a full agenda for the kids through the Portland area and then Corvallis for the one stop. So what we ask from you guys is the support for providing a bus and bus driver and those pieces right there and stuff. And I'm always in contact with Janet for that.
What travel overnight too?
Yeah, and the overnight, yeah, for the 2 nights overnight with our middle schoolers. And Miss Smith will be accompanying me for that trip also as the female chaperone. Will be about 18 kids. Right now 18 unless some back out, so 18 maximum. So right now the cost is we charge the kid, we kind of establish around $95 per kid. $30 of that goes to helping pay for some of the meals and hotel costs to offset that a little bit. Gives them a little bit more buy-in. They can't just flake on us and stuff like that. So we establish that little buy-in and then they cover a couple of the lunches and stuff like that. So
Is there a process in place for kids that can't?
we do, yes. I always establish that and stuff like that. I've talked to Miss Smith about establishing that. As soon as we get a kid that says no, or I don't know if I want to go, then what we do is we usually approach that student later on or contact the parent and say, hey, we wanted you to know about it. Is there anything that's holding you back? So we make sure that there's a process in there. And National Honor Society also said that they would help us if that came up, that there was a kid that couldn't quite pay, or and before we've had, I think, some funds somewhere else sometimes that we go into for those kids that can't pay for those extras that are needed. So yeah, we have established that for those students that lack that financial ability to. So I just ask for your guys' approval for the trip.
Any other questions?
What?
Motion?
Move to approve
Well, I always
the
forget you.
2018-19 advanced mathematics field trip request as presented.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the 2018-19, should that say 2019-20?
It's this year.
It's this year.
Advanced mathematics field trip request as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
I
Motion carries.
don't think you'd mind if we approved the next one, do you?
Right, go freeze. Can I speak just one more thing off the cuff? And I forgot to give this to Lane earlier about the math competition at OIT. We had a busy week last week with the Shakespeare thing too, so I apologize for not giving him this information. Yes, you did. I had that Shakespeare trip on Friday, so. But anyway, we took honorable mention at the OIT math competition in Algebra 2 with Wyatt Patsky. So we took honorable mention for Algebra 2 in their math competition over there, which is Triad, Hosanna, Mazama, Henley, KU, and stuff like that over there. And then they invite us over. I didn't see any Lost River or Bonanza there at Chiloquin, so I don't know how those schools are represented. But also our pre-calculus, we took first and second place above all those schools, and 2 of our kids competed for the, they won the state regional and can advance to the state competition, and that's Riley Schulenberger took second, and Bjorn Erickson took first place with a $1,000 scholarship to OIT also. For credits. Yeah, he will not. He has it hanging on the wall framed currently in my room. So, I was also going to put a little thing together too. Lane had me one it for him, and then I don't know if the newspaper would like that information also. So we want to get that out so that the public knows that there's these things going on. So
Great.
I just wanted to give you that information.
Round of applause.
May I excuse myself? I have physics kids at a study night right now, and I'm going to go help physics kids.
Go for it.
Don't forget
Okay.
the pizza.
Thank you. I know. I got it.
Thank you, Mr. Lee.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
When you're studying for physics.
8.5.
Mr. Stratton and Ms. Cohat.
This board, I would like to introduce Miss Jenna Kohat. She's going to talk to you guys about the Music in May field trip. And I don't know exactly how long it's been since, if we have been going every year or whatever, but I do know that we're taking 13 students on this trip.
12 now.
12 students on this trip, and I was talking to Miss Nikki Vocal the other day, and she goes, I don't ever remember taking that many. So hats off to Mrs. Kohat and what she's doing to build our program.
So I have a little bit of an itinerary here for all of you. So,
Thank you.
13 actually got accepted in this program. They had to fill out applications, and then I had to rate these students on how well I thought their ability was and their attitude and cooperation. And this is going to take place up in Forest Grove, so up at Pacific University. And this is going to start May 22nd. We're going to start right after school. The plan is to leave around 3:30, and it'll be about a 7-hour trip up there. And we plan to be back around late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, so around 2 a.m. We have planned to go up and eat, and then continue traveling. That's about halfway up to Pacific, so they get a little rest stop on the way there. Then from there, they'll be registering and sent into dorms. So I will be at a hotel with the bus driver, and then these kids will be specifically in dorms. They'll be all girls dorms, all boys dorms, so they'll be completely separated from that, and I plan on doing that on the bus as well. So there's that aspect, and then there's actual schedule that Pacific University had sent out on their actual website as to what these kids are going to be doing. The really importance of all this is these kids get to work with different musicians from all over the state. They get to work with music professors. It basically just builds up their musicianship and builds their interest in the program to hopefully gain more students as we go along in my program. So that's the biggest gist of that. So they'll do 2 full days of rehearsals, and then Saturday they're going to perform publicly in front of everybody, which I think is great. So I plan they're going to learn a lot, see what the college life's like in the music world, and I have good 12 kids that would be willing to accept this opportunity.
Okay, any discussion? There won't be a male chaperone, is that?
Correct.
Okay.
Unless it's the bus driver. I'm not sure yet.
There's chaperones in the dorms, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So-
Yes, the school's providing that, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other? We have a motion?
I move to approve the Music in May field trip request as presented.
Been moved and seconded to approve the Music in May field trip as request as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you guys for the support.
You bet.
ASB may have said, when is your spring concert?
Spring concert will be May 8th at 6:30,
Okay.
Wednesday evening again.
Do we?
Yes.
We do.
No.
You can't win.
Gotta wrap it
I
up.
won't be here. Just
At the May 8th meeting?
yeah, I can make it. I'm gonna be able to-
John last time.
Was that the
8.6.
Well, every year we establish the participation of who's going to be on the stage at graduation. Mr. Schulenberger has a relative in that crowd, so in addition to being board chair, so my assumption was you're probably the lucky person who gets to be on stage that day. Unless some other board members here have a burning desire to be a part of that. Last year, the roles were a little different. You know, I was acting as a principal, not as a superintendent, and so you got to give the opening remarks. If you want me to go back to give me the opening remarks, I will do that, but if you did such a great job, you want to do it again, you're welcome to do that too, Mr. Schoenberg.
Who's my relative?
Riley's in it this year, isn't he?
No, it's one of the reasons.
Great. So I take it I'm off the year.
Let's get one to go.
Okay.
The Reese boy.
Well, anyway,
Well, the reason,
pardon me.
What day is graduation?
Saturday, May
June
1st.
1st. May 1st.
Oh, dang, nice try.
Yeah, nice try.
June 1st, June 2nd.
You know, I messed up on the relative, you messed up on the dates.
And you see how well I did, I wasn't even invited back this year.
I threw it out. Threw it in, we can sure amend this motion, so, anyway.
It doesn't matter to me either, I've done it once as well.
Parliamentary procedure is a wonderful thing, you can do amendments.
is graduation on the first or the second?
First.
Saturday.
All right.
Are you game? Okay, then I guess we're good to go.
Opening remarks, Chairman Schuler.
Yeah.
You don't have any graduating
Next year.
next year. Okay.
You want to do opening remarks again?
I have my speech from last year, but it doesn't.
You can recycle it.
Well,
It's up to you, we can
Well,
discuss that later on, so.
okay. All right, motion?
I move to approve the 2019 LHS graduation ceremonies board of directors as presented. The ceremonies will include Barry Schulenberger, board member, and Will Cahill, superintendent, in honoring Lee County School District number 7 graduates.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the 2019 LHS graduation ceremonies. Board of Directors as presented. The ceremonies will include Barry Schulenberger, board member, and Will Cahill, superintendent, in honoring LCSD number 7 graduates. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 8.7.
Okay. So we were in receipt of a grant. It's actually $12,000 this year. We're kind of behind the 8 ball with it. We found out in February, a week before they were supposed to go to a conference. We made it to the conference. Well, we didn't make it to the conference. Randy made it to the conference. But we did make that. But we did receive the $12,000 grant. So what I'm seeking is approval of acceptance of the grant. It will probably go on in future years. It's scheduled for 2023 being the final date on June 30th of 2023. But those dollar figures is undetermined at this point. So, excuse me. So I just wanted to get acceptance of the grant.
Sure we can do that.
We always take money.
And I've reviewed it, and it's standard federal grant language, so nothing, we're not putting ourselves in a huge financial hole or giving up the firstborn children of all the school staff or anything like that, so it's fine.
Okay. Good to know.
I got one.
I got one.
First one we can give up.
I don't like to volunteer for that either. I think there was an amendment, a couple of customers amendments on that one.
Do we have a motion?
Move to approve the Oregon Healthy School Grant as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Oregon Healthy School Grant as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Consent agenda.
Have none, you have it there, sorry. I was one item ahead of myself.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Announcements.
Yes, I do have one. You know, we celebrated, Teacher Week from May 6th through the 10th, but just to, really express my appreciation, today is Administrative Professionals Day. It should either be Secretary's Day, Administrative Assistants Day. It has a whole host of titles, but I want to recognize the wonderful staff we have here at the district office. Janet, Tandy, Amy, and Patty. And this day merits recognition for the great job they do. In addition to that, all of our wonderful secretaries in this district as well for the outstanding job they do. So, job well done to all our administrative professionals, and their service to this district is most appreciated. Mr. Stratton has some announcements.
Well, do they have a speech?
She stole my words.
I have two quick announcements. I've been spinning plates and I forgot our math thing, and I knew I asked Mr. Louis to let me know. Put it on the website, give it to me for the board report. But anyways, two things else I forgot is this year we nominated an ACE turnaround student, and we haven't done that for several years. And ACE turnaround student is an organization, I don't even know how to say them, over there in Klamath Falls, and it's open to Klamath Falls and Lake County students, where we nominate a senior who was probably not on the right track their freshman or sophomore year, but in whatever maturity, the angel maturity, went over the house and sprinkled the dust over it or whatever, the student has turned around, has been an example in our building. And this year's ACE turnaround student for Lakeview High School was Alejandra Monreal. So she was able to go over there with Miss Harris and a teacher, and she received a $100 scholarship also.
Yep, she received $100, and then she goes in to compete at different levels for higher level scholarships as well.
Alejandra was a senior, she'll be graduating, so it's a pretty cool, neat thing, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And then also, if you were at the baseball, softball games yesterday, Ness also, what's her name? Donna, I can't believe I forgot her name, Donna came and brought her bread wagon for our baseball, softball games yesterday, and she had a donation jar, and then a portion of the proceeds of all the sales went to our J-Lam Fund. Donna has been a J-Lam Fund supporter, even when I was last in the AD. She was always calling me, how's that fund, what do we need to do? But and I imagine she's been doing that forever. And the J-Lam Fund is what pays for our students who want to go out for sports and don't have enough money, need a baseball glove or shoes or whatever. The J-Lam Fund does it. And her count yesterday for what she is going to send to the fund this year, she called and told us it would be about $1,000 through donations and the proceeds of the sales yesterday. So Donna and her bread wagon and the two ladies, amazing job. I appreciate what she does for us. And I know that somebody pulled up and said, I need 10 fried breads to go, and here's an extra $300. So great outpouring by our community support for Donna. And I think Lisa Schulenberger is the one that helped us set that up, and we'll keep that going. She's even thinking maybe of doing a fall one too. Great idea.
Yeah. I know it was a hit the year before too.
Yeah.
That's great, good news. Any other announcements?
That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Next board meeting agenda items.
Well, I think we'll finally be able to get that policy update in. We'll do a work session and get the first round of policies. It'll probably be about 3 meetings to get all those policies done. Lonnie will do a Healthy Teen Survey report. We've been putting that off for quite a while. Just a reminder that May 22nd is going to be a work session. We'll have LHS DMS elementary handbook, elementary and high school handbooks. In addition, we'll have district goals, and we will also propose to you your board calendar for next year. Have some discussion on that. So we get all these elements in place, then in the June meeting we'll go ahead and approve these things. So,
Okay. Adjournment.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second to adjourn the meeting, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Carries.
thank you, board.
Adjourned.
Alrighty.